Today on the show, we're going to be celebrating my first full year on YouTube by recreating my first history video. So we're going to be talking about Kate Kane, Batwoman. If you didn't know that she had her father's full support when she first became a hero, then this show is for you. So Kate Kane, she is probably my second favourite Bat family member behind Tim Drake, and she first appeared in 52 number 7 in 2006. And although she hasn't been around that long, she has made a huge impact on the Bat family. She grew up with her twin sister Elizabeth, and both her parents actually worked for the military. And one year her parents would get a promotion and start working for NATO, which meant they had to move to Brussels. Then one year on the twins' birthday, Kate's mother and the twins were kidnapped by the religion of crime, and it was up to Kate's father to rescue all of them, but he was too late and was only able to rescue Kate, and Kate saw the dead bodies of her sister and her mother. Kate grew up wanting to please her father, so she eventually entered the Marines, and this didn't last long because, you see, she roomed with this girl called Sophie Moore, and the two of them eventually entered into a homosexual relationship. Kate's commander got word of this, but he didn't know who the other person was in the relationship, so Kate was able to protect Sophie by saying that she was gay and she was dishonorably discharged from the military. She left West Point and went home, and obviously her father was surprised to see her there, and when Kate explained what happened, her father was actually okay with it. He was happy that she didn't have to lie to herself. Then Jacob, Kate's father, would marry a woman called Catherine Hamilton, who was a weapons heiress, making Kate a socialite in Gotham City. And it's also worth saying that this made Catherine Kane, which was the name of the first Batwoman. Then one night after a party, Kate would be pulled over for drink driving by police officer Renee Montoya. But instead of a driving ticket, she got a girlfriend. But the two of them would quickly break up after Kate dropped out of school again, and Renee was sick of this from Kate, because Kate had no real direction in life, and Renee really didn't want to be in a relationship with someone that didn't have direction. But then one night, Kate was attacked by a mugger, and she was able to kind of stand up for herself, but she was rescued by Batman, and this inspired her to find her true purpose. With support from her father, she travelled all around the world for 2 years, learning martial arts and how to fight from masters in each and every form. And her father even created experimental weapons for his daughter. So while investigating a warehouse, Renee would find some leads that took her back to the Kanes. So Renee would go and question Kate. And Kate would admit that her family owns the warehouse, but they're not using it at the moment, and it was actually being leased by Ridge Ferrick until 6 months prior. Renee refused to tell Kate what all this questioning was about, so she just decided to follow Renee as Batwoman and try and figure out what the hell was going on. And she would see Question and Renee go into Ridge Ferrick's Gotham offices and be attacked by Whisper Adair's shape-shifting minions. Batwoman would swoop in, save the day, ask that she not be mentioned in the police's report, and then leaves just as quickly as she appeared. One thing that I actually really did like about this scene in particular, and it really does stick out to me, Renee was able to figure out that Batwoman was Kate, not by using amazing detective skills, but by the way that Kate punched her. So Renee would be going after Intergang, and she found out about a prophecy in the crime Bible that talked about the brutal murder of the twice-named daughter of Cain. So Renee and Question would go back to Gotham to look after Kate, and they would get her by bringing her down with a bat signal. The three of them all started working together, but Renee and Question would have to leave Gotham very shortly after this, but this is about the same time that Kate started working with Nightwing. Intergang would then realize that the twice-named daughter of Cain and this illustration of Batwoman are the same person. So Intergang would kidnap Kate and prepare to sacrifice her. Renee turned up what looked like way too late, but while fighting Bruno Mannheim, Kate would pull the knife out of her chest and stab Mannheim in the back, and she would survive thanks to intervention by Renee at the last minute. During Final Crisis, Kate was present, but she wouldn't do anything individually important because she was quick to fall under the influence of the anti-life equation and obviously joined the Female Furies. Then Kate would become the star of Detective Comics from issue number 854 onwards, and she's going after the religion of crime once again. And it's very quickly shown she knows way more about the religion of crime than even Batman. It's actually in this story arc that we got to know her origin, and this is a few years after her first appearance, so we spent those few years not really knowing who she was. Kate was going after a new villain named Alice, and the thing about Alice is she wanted to poison all of Gotham with a toxic gas, only spoke in quotes from Lewis Carroll, and actually believed she was Alice Liddell. But at the end of the storyline, and this is the best part, she says to Batwoman, "You have our father's eyes." I'm being kind of intentionally ambiguous with this storyline because it's possibly the best comic book storyline that I have ever read. It's definitely like in my top 2. I've told you what you need to know about this storyline for the character's history, but honestly, go and read it. It's a storyline called Batwoman Elegy, and it's got the best art of any comic book I have ever seen. Like, each monthly issue took like 20 to 30 minutes to read because the art was so good. I've put a mycomicshop.com link to where you can buy the trade of this storyline down below because honestly, it's so good and everyone should read it. Later on, Batwoman is kidnapped once again, put in a coffin, and then taken to London to be sacrificed, and this time she is saved by Batman, Knight, and Squire. She'll protest against Dick Grayson putting Bruce Wayne's body into a Lazarus pit, but Dick just ignored her, and then regretted it. Then she would have one last adventure in Argentina, which wasn't really important for her history, and then the New 52. But Batwoman's New 52 situation is kind of interesting. A lot of characters were rebooted for the New 52, whereas Batwoman, she had a series planned that was just going to be called Batwoman months before the New 52. I think about 8 issues were already written, so when the New 52 came about, they just put that out. This of course means that most of her pre-New 52 history is still intact. Obviously there are some parts that you kind of have to adapt to fit in the continuity of the New 52, like Final Crisis or Infinite Crisis. Batwoman's series when the New 52 first started was the best comic in the New 52. Everyone agreed on that. It was the best thing coming out month after month after month, and it only got better and better and better. And then it just kind of went like this. I'm not going to get into the details too much because it is a long story, but basically there was a story where Batwoman was going to get married, and this was changed last minute by DC, which meant she couldn't get married, and this caused the entire creative team on this comic to leave. Since then, the Batwoman title has not had the same vibe, and its quality has been okay at best. This is very painful to see because this title was so good. Batwoman would have easily been an A-list character in 1 or 2 more years, no doubt about it. Batwoman is another character that I do hope gets her own movie, just because I really want to see an LGBT character have their own title movie. That would be amazing to see. And if they got Del Toro to turn the Batwoman Elegy story arc into a movie, it would just be fantastic, along with the right casting, of course. It's super effective! Okay guys, that is it for today. Please let me know in the comments down below if you think I forgot anything majorly important about Batwoman. And also don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more history videos. And also don't forget to like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, support the show by checking out my Patreon so I can make bigger and better and more history videos. And also don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel. My name is Faust, this has been Exploring Comics, and it is super effective.